Hello everybody, it's me Jones MJ here. Ever since commercial aviation took off in the US, all but one state has seen consistent commercial air service. The one state that has not is Delaware. Delaware has had a hard time getting successful commercial air service due to its proximity to other major airports, and every carrier that has tried service in the state has failed. The most recent attempt was Frontier Airlines, which served Wilmington Airport from 2013 until 2015, citing that the service wasn't profitable. However, Delaware's distinction as the only state without commercial air service has come to an end, with Frontier restarting air service out of Wilmington Airport. In addition, Wilmington Airport spent millions of dollars on renovations to the airport to accommodate future commercial air service more efficiently. Let's take a look at the new Wilmington Airport and Frontier's return to Wilmington, Delaware. Before we begin, make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell on so you can stay up to date on the latest architectural projects and statistics. I also want to thank you guys for 500 subscribers, as we have reached that milestone yesterday. Thank you very much guys, that means a lot. We are now only halfway to the big 1,000, so please make sure you are subscribed. It really does help out my channel a lot. There will be a subscriber special coming out soon, so make sure you all stay tuned for that. Wilmington Airport opened before World War II, named Greater Wilmington Airport at the time. The facility was mainly used by the U.S. Air Force during the war and became Newcastle Army Air Base. Its mission was to facilitate the movement of aircraft to the British and other allies. After the war ended, control of the airport was returned to the civil authorities, but a joint use agreement was made between the U.S. Air Force and Newcastle County authorities for a portion of the airport being retained for an Air National Guard base. Wilmington Airport's first commercial flights began in 1947 with TWA and American Airlines. By 1967, Eastern Airlines also serviced the airport and was operating Douglas DC-9 jet service at the airport with non-stop flights to New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Charlotte. United Airlines and U.S. Airways Express later began their own operations out of Wilmington. However, in the 1990s, all of this service was discontinued due to nearby growing Philadelphia International Airport. Delaware wouldn't see air service again until 2006, when Delta Airlines flew regional jets from Wilmington Airport to its hub in Atlanta, but it was discontinued a year later due to Delta not being able to sell enough tickets to make it profitable. In 2008, a startup known as Skybus Airlines began Airbus A319 jet flights from Wilmington to Columbus and Greensboro, but it was even less successful than Delta, discontinuing flights only a month later. And most recently, in July 2013, Frontier Airlines began Airbus A320 jet service at Wilmington, starting out with service to Chicago, Denver, Houston, Orlando, and Tampa, advertising with the tagline, "Flying out of Philly is silly." At first, this service seemed to be successful, since a year later, Frontier announced it would be adding service to Atlanta, Detroit, and Fort Myers. However, Frontier Airlines was going through some financial struggles at the time, which caused a lot of their Wilmington flights to be suspended. This caused less people to fly out of the airport, which eventually led to Frontier discontinuing service in late 2015, citing it as not profitable. Since then, Delaware had yet again remained without any commercial air service for many years, but that has now recently changed. On January 28, 2020, Frontier Airlines announced that they would be returning to Wilmington Airport. An event was held at the airport where Daniel Shores, the Senior VP of Commercial for Frontier Airlines, announced that the carrier will return to Wilmington Airport in May 2020, starting out with non-stop service to Orlando, Florida, 3 times a week. Frontier claims that it wanted to start smaller this time, and depending on how successful the service is, they will increase the frequencies and add more routes. Due to the pandemic though, Frontier's return was delayed until February 11th, 2021, when the inaugural flight from Orlando landed in Wilmington at around 12:20 p.m. Frontier service out of Wilmington is operated by Airbus A320 aircraft, and Frontier is starting out with non-stop service between Wilmington and Orlando on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. The flight from Orlando is scheduled to arrive at Wilmington Airport at 12:38 p.m. and leave Wilmington for Orlando at 1:55 p.m. Passengers can then connect onto another flight from Orlando if that is not their final destination. Frontier is also having a really good sale on their flights out of Wilmington to Orlando, with some days costing as little as $19. which is pretty cheap. But one thing to keep in mind though with Frontier is that it is an ultra low cost carrier, which means that while they have cheap plane tickets, the cost only includes a seat and personal item, and everything else is sold a la carte. That means that you will have to pay for things like carry-ons, so make sure you understand that when going in. In addition to Frontier's return to Wilmington, the Wilmington Airport has also seen some upgrades, mainly in the terminal. The inside of the terminal has been renovated with new ticketing and check-in counters, improved security and baggage scanning, and renovated gate seating. Those of you that complain about airports not having enough outlets though will be happy at Wilmington Airport because all of the new seats have outlets underneath them. The airport though is small, with only one gate, so aside from water fountains and vending machines, there isn't really much else in terms of amenities, but on the positive side, getting through the airport will be much quicker than a bigger airport. In addition, if commercial service from Wilmington Airport proves successful this time around, then there are plans to expand the airport to include 2 gates, some concessions, and enlarge the terminal. Here is a floor plan of what this could look like. Overall, Wilmington Airport is a small but nice airport. Sure, it may not have a ton of amenities that you would find at a big airport, but getting in and out is super quick, and the place is a lot nicer and cleaner than nearby Philadelphia International Airport. As a Delawarean, the news that my state has finally regained commercial service is great. I've flown out of Wilmington Airport before when it had commercial service, and I overall really enjoyed the experience, so I'm happy to see commercial air service again. While it would be nice if Frontier offered more non-stop destinations and larger frequencies, I understand why they are starting smaller, especially now with the pandemic, but they are open to expansion if the service ends up successful, so there's definitely that. Be sure to let me know what you think of Wilmington Airport and Frontier Airlines down below. Are you happy to have commercial service in Wilmington, Delaware again, and will you be flying out of the airport? Let me know all of that good stuff down in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.